Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of NCAA Regional Baseball here on ACTV, the final game in the elimination bracket, and it's set to be a good one. The number 7 Adrian College Bulldogs taking on the number 8 Wabash Little Giants. Robbie Alexander taking you through all the action today with my colleague Cody Alexander. And Wabash, fresh off of a 3-1 lead, they took down the Ithaca Bombers to make it 3 left in the standings. And these two teams may be at the bottom of the bracket, but they are by no means a pushover. They are fighting tooth and nail to get to the championship game.
Yeah, Little Giants lost their first game by a score of 4-2, but since then, a 3-game win streak. They carry the momentum as Adrian suffers a pretty ugly loss, 17-4 against Worcester in last night's game.
Jordan Williams on the mound for the Bulldogs. First pitch to Rodzinski, foul ball straight into the netting. And a quick strike one on the second baseman. Williams pitched in relief in that game that Adrian took down LaRoche by a score of 1-0, now getting his first nod of the tournament as far as starting. And a line drive, nice leaping play there by the new shortstop, Sean O'Keefe, for out number 1. Dazzling play to start competition here this afternoon. They'll bring up the catcher, Bryce Aldridge. 2 for 4 in this morning's game. First pitch from Williams. Ball in the turf, 1-0. Soft drizzle falling here at Nicolay Field. Shouldn't be anything too much as the game probably will continue through the majority of it. So it looks like the thunderstorms from yesterday pretty much moved out of the area. Another fastball, another ball, 2-0 on the catcher.
Well, Williams, the Adrian number 3 starter. In 14 appearances, he's made 9 starts, a perfect 8-0 record, 66 2/3 innings pitched, 63 strikeouts, 25 walks, and a 2.16 ERA. He also has 3 saves on the season, including yesterday's victory against LaRoche, in which he went the last inning, gave up 2 hits, but did not surrender any runs, as Adrian won that one 1-0.
3-1 is the count on Bryce Aldridge. And the pitch from Williams. Outside for ball 4. 1 out, walk issued to the Little Giants. Well, lining up defensively for the Adrian College Bulldogs, a little bit of a shakeup from what we've seen. Resto, as always, calling the signs behind the dish. Hunter Hayes at first base, but different in the middle of the infield. Jordan Torreno, who's usually the shortstop, now holding down second base. Sean O'Keefe at shortstop. Dugan Darnell, as always, holding down the bag at third base. And then the outfield, left to right, Gunnar Rainey, Zach Schering, and the usual second baseman, Brady Wood, out in right field, who was actually recruited to play the outfield. Right fielder Andrew Jumanville in the batter's box now. He's down the count 0-1. And the pitch from Williams, able to hold off on the off speed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jumanville 1 for 3 in their game against Ithaca. There's a high fly ball, shallow center field, Wood under it. He will make the catch for out number 2.
Well, not a great game last night by the Bulldogs, as we said. 6 errors committed by Adrian. 3 of those were committed by Torrento at shortstop, but he finds himself at second base as Tristan Richardson struggling with the bat for the last few weeks. And Robbie, I gotta say, with the pleasure of watching Adrian throughout this year, I actually like the move to put Torreno at second, as he's been pretty solid over there. O'Keefe a better defensive shortstop, so we'll see if that plays out for the Bulldogs.
We've seen it a couple times this year, and it has worked out in their favor. The 0-1 in the dirt. It's 1-1 on the first baseman, Jackson Blevins. Aldridge took second uncontested as Resto having some trouble getting the ball out of his hand.
Well, we saw him throw 3 runners out in yesterday morning's contest, but like Robbie said, a little bit of a drizzle here. We'll see how that affects both the Adrian and the Wabash defense.
Blevins 0 for 3 in the earlier contest today, but he had an RBI to his name. The pitch from Williams. That one's hit deep into the right center gap. Wood will track it and make the catch for out number 3. So Wabash able to get a man on but can't bring him in, and we'll head to the bottom of the first scoreless. And we'll be back with more elimination baseball here on ACTV. Bottom of inning number 1 here in game 13 of the Mideast Regionals. The Little Giants hopes on the big right arm of Brian Roberts. As the center fielder, Zach Schering, stepping in to lead things off for Adrian College. First pitch from Roberts. Fire straight gas for strike 1.
Roberts 7-4 on the year. He is the Little Giants ace. A 2.42 ERA in 13 games started. He also has 3 complete games and an 89 1/3 innings pitched. He has 77 strikeouts to 27 walks. Only 24 earned runs given up and holding opponents to a 2.38 average.
There's a ball that hangs high on Schering. It's 1-2 now. The pitch. Another bender that he can't snap off. Even at 2 now.
Schering hitting .337 coming into this contest. Has driven in 17 runs. Scored 51, which leads the Bulldogs. Also has 5 doubles and 3 triples.
Well, he was 0 for 4 in last night's sloppy contest against Worcester. He's looking to start a spark for the Bulldogs here. The 2-2 count popped up on the infield. Blevins calling everybody off. He'll make it just inside foul territory for out number 1. Lining up defensively for Wabash. Aldridge calling the signs behind the dish. Blevins at first base. He just made the first out. Rodzinski at second. Wannemuller holding down the bag at third. Eric Chavez at shortstop. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Wolf, Downing, and Jumonville. First pitch strike given to the left fielder, Gunnar Rainey. The one bright spot in that Adrian lineup in last night's contest went 4 for 5. He fouls that one towards the back 40. It's quickly 0-2 now. The 0-2 in the turf. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Rainey 347 on the year with 32 runs batted in and 39 runs scored. 7 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run.
Brings the count back even at 2-2, 1 out. And the pitch from Roberts fouls that inside fastball off. Still 2-2.
Well, Roberts got the start in Wabash's first game. That was back on Thursday against Worcester. And although he got the loss, there was nothing to slouch about. 6 2/3 innings of work, 4 runs, only 3 earned. He also struck out 7 fighting Scots, walking 2. There were 119 pitches in that contest, but a couple days in between, so he looks ready to get back to work.
And Rainey puts that one into right field. And he keeps racking up the hits this tournament. A 1-out single. So that'll bring up Adrian's 3-hitter, right fielder Brady Wood. He was 0 for 2 last night, but he had a run scored. Bulldogs got down early in that game, so Coach Rainey putting a lot of the backups in. Wood only got the 2 at-bats before giving up second base to Justin McMahon.
Well, we actually saw 3 different position players throw for Adrian last night, as head coach Craig Rainey did not want to go to his bullpen anymore and waste them, knowing that he was probably going to end up here in the losers bracket, which that's what happened.
Rainey out for second base on the wild pitch. It was blocked by Aldridge. It bounces too far away, and the Dogs have a man in scoring position.
As I was saying, Nick Roush, Aaron Ajrush, and Tristan Richardson, all position players, threw an inning apiece. And combined, they had 5 strikeouts, did not give up a single run.
Roberts puts a strike in there. 2-1 now on Brady Wood. Although you never want to see your team put a position player in, because it usually means you're going to lose the ball game. It's always entertaining to see not only which position player they'll put in, but also how well they'll do.
And all 3 of them actually possessed a pretty decent breaking ball, which suggests either that they have a lot of time on their hands when they play catch or that they pitched in high school.
Well, Wood sends a soft one to third base, but they're going to have no play. Infield single and runners on first and second with 1 out.
Little swinging bunt there by Wood. Wannemuller, the right play there to hold that ball. No play at first.
So it's the heavy-hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes now up to the plate. First pitch right at the knees for strike 1. Hayes 0 for 3 in last night's contest. The pitch from Roberts. That one hit into right field. Jumonville going towards the line. He'll haul it in and make the catch. Rainey tags and heads to third. There are now runners on the corners with 2 outs. That'll bring up the Bulldogs' third baseman, Dugan Darnell. Looking for a 2-out RBI. Runner on third base. That was the Bulldogs' second hit of the day.
Like Robbie, you said, Rainey 4 for 5 yesterday, but he was unable to score at all. 9 men left on base last night for the Bulldogs, so they'll look to turn their fortunes here.
Roberts looking to leave them stranded. First pitch hits that outer strike zone. 0-1. Another one at the knees. Roberts painting the corners so far and working that outline of the strike zone. It's 0-2.
This Adrian team, like all of the other teams that we've seen in this regional, a good hitting team, so pitchers will have to be careful, not put anything right down the middle.
Darnell holds, and Brady Wood will take off and swipe second base uncontested. So Wabash will most likely have to make the out at first base if it's hit on the ground.
A little bit of a delayed steal there by Wood, catching the Wabash defense sleeping.
1-2 from Roberts. Darnell fouls that one off to stay alive.
Looks like Roberts has a bit of a heavy ball, a little bit of sink to his fastball right at the plate. That pitch really explodes out of his hand.
The 0-2 to Dugan Darnell. And he rings him up window shopping on the outer black. Darnell doesn't agree with the call, but it ends the Bulldog threat, and we will head to the top of inning number 2 scoreless. Keep it tuned. We'll be back with more on ACTV. Welcome back. Top of inning number 2, still scoreless. The elimination game between Wabash College and Adrian College. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Little Giants, starting with the designated hitter, Matthew Ane. And the first pitch from Williams, high and inside. Took a little off, but it's ball 1. Fouls that one back on the left side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Wabash lost to Worcester the first game of the tournament. Adrian lost to Worcester last night. Both teams' only losses. As that one hit into the left center gap, that's going to be a base hit. Rainey will cut it off. The leadoff man is aboard.
Whoever wins this contest will have to face Worcester in the game after this.
Even though Adrian spent more time in the winner's bracket, this is their first elimination game. It's probably Wabash, who's riding high on a 3-game win streak, and the momentum definitely in their favor.
Yeah, that's something that Coach Jake Martin mentioned in his press conference after Ithaca's game.
Chavez bunt right back to the mound, but it will do the job as Ane moves up to second base and a runner in scoring position with one out.
What Coach Martin was basically saying was, hey, we've got 3 wins in a row, and we're coming in facing a team who is still down, losing one last night. So we are riding the tide, and they're going to have to pick themselves back up and face us. And he also, Robbie, talked about kind of feeding off of that underdog stereotype that's been put on them, the Little Giants with the 8 seed here. He said it helps his team play a lot more relaxed because they don't feel the pressure that teams with a higher seeding would normally face.
Well, we've seen both these teams 7 and 8 in the bracket, putting up gritty performances. Adrian knocked down 2 and 3. Wabash giving a tough competition to the #1 seed of Worcester. They beat them in the conference championship and only lost to them by 2 runs in the opening round. So they feel great about their chances, but they know that Adrian's going to give them a run for their money. It's going to be tough for whatever team gets into the championship bracket, not only to make it out of this game, but to get into the contest against Worcester. 2-0 is the count on the center fielder, Tyler Downing. The pitch catches the inside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike. Downing 1 for 3 in the earlier game. Had one of those 3 Wabash RBIs. Williams, the 2-1, fouls that one off the mask of Resto. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Frankie okay back there.
Well, the fact of the matter here is the fate of playing 3 games today rests in whoever wins this contest. If Adrian wins, they will be facing Worcester. And Robbie, I think you know the time of that one. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but if Wabash happens to win this game, then it will be the final game of the day. Teams not allowed to play more than 2 contests in a given day. So they will move the Worcester contest to tomorrow. That's game number 14. And if Wabash happened to beat Worcester in that game, then they would play game number 15 tomorrow as well.
Yes, if Adrian wins, that game will take place around 6:30 tonight. But of course, like you said, if Wabash wins, everything's pushed to tomorrow for a championship Monday. As Downing goes down on strikes for out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Jordan Williams, and that will bring up the third baseman, Henry Wanamuller. Wanamuller 1 for 3 with an RBI earlier today. First pitch. Hits the outside black for strike 1.
Good to see the Adrian College starter, Jordan Williams, coming out throwing strikes. As last night's starter, Jason Schrader, started off. He had 3 walks and also hit a batter. It was all downhill from there for Adrian.
Unfortunately, Schrader unable to get a single out in the inning, giving up 6 runs before he would be pulled. We would see a slew of pitchers after that: Miller, Mueller, McMichael, Perry, and then the 3 position players. And it was not a pretty sight. The 1-1. Ball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Worcester also went through quite a few pitchers. Their starter, Brian Murray, went 6 innings pitched. They used 4 out of the pen after that, including going to their closer, James Usher, for the very last out of the ball game.
I think that was more Coach Petterini trying to spread the workout so the pitch counts didn't pile too high on any of his bullpen arms.
Mueller sends that one into shallow right field. That's going to drop and fall in the Bermuda Triangle. Ane's going to come around to score, and Wabash takes an early 1-0 lead here in inning number 2.
Not a bad pitch by Williams, a 2-1 breaker outside. Watermiller just throws his bat head out and puts it in the perfect place. With 2 outs, Ane was off on the swing, and he scored easily.
Well, we saw both Wabash and Ithaca having trouble going the other way in the earlier ball game. So it looks like the the Little Giants able to change their strategy up a little bit and see where the pitches are and get back to why they've been winning the ball games. 0-1 is the count on the number 9 hitter, Jared Wolf. He was 1 for 2 with a run scored earlier. The first pitch, a ground ball over to the second baseman, Torreno charging. And they'll flip on to first for out number 3, but not before the Little Giants score the first run of the ball game and take an early advantage, 1-0, as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Keep it tuned right here to NCAA Baseball here on ACTV. Six, 7, 8 due up for Adrian College here in the bottom of the second inning. They're down 1-0 as the Little Giants able to score a run in the top of the inning. It's the designated hitter Brian Guck up to bat. First pitch from Roberts. A strike at the knees, 0-1. Another strike. He puts this one further outside the plate. It's quickly 0-2 on Guck. That one gets away from him. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Guck pinch hit in last night's game for the center fielder, Zach Schering. He went 0 for 1 in his one at bat. But had some big hits earlier in the tournament.
Had the lone RBI in the LaRoche contest, a sac fly and a pinch hit at bat. Also had a double in the opener against Otterbein.
Down in the count, 1-2. The pitch from Roberts. He goes swinging for the high cheddar, but the trap snaps shut for out number 1. Second strikeout in a row for Roberts, and that will bring up the second baseman, Jordan Torrento. Last night's shortstop, 0 for 1, had an RBI in the ball game. First pitch high and outside for ball 1.
Torrento hitting at a 280 clip. Struggling a little bit as of late, but a keen eye at the plate. 36 walks drawn so far this season to supplement a .469 on base percentage. Has also scored 35 runs and driven in 23.
He takes a healthy cut there, but can't connect. It's 1-2.
Roberts has just come out firing strikes here.
Nothing left over the plate either. Really doing a good job painting the corners. The 1-2 to Torrento, high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
.33 pitches thrown so far, 22 strikes.
Torrento pops that one foul territory. It's going to get out of play. Count remains the same at 2 apiece. Torrento usually batting in the 9 spot, bumped up to 7th today.
His replacement at shortstop, O'Keefe, not quite the hitter that Torrento is, so probably the reasoning for the lineup.
That one right down the line, a little bit of a collision between teammates, but Blevins will take the bag for the out. A little bit of a bobble when he got the ball.
Yeah, a little late hop there that kind of handcuffed him, but he keeps it in front of him. Able to beat Torrento to the bag.
Well, with 2 outs, that will bring up the catcher Frankie Resto. 0 for 2 in last night's contest. First pitch from Roberts. Fastball bottom of the zone, strike 1. Fooled on that off speed as Roberts takes a little off. Frankie quickly in the hole now, 0-2.
So far, it looks like these 2 days of rest have been good for Roberts. Really rainy single, the only hard hit ball.
Looks like Resto might have gotten away with one there. Very close call. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And the pitch. Gets a curveball, tries to pull it, but pulls it right into the glove of Chavez at shortstop to end the inning. Bulldogs go down in short order. And it's still a 1-0 Little Giants lead as we head to the top of inning number 3. Don't you touch that clicker, because we'll be right back here on ACTV. Top of inning number 3 here in game 13 of the Mideast Regionals. Top of the Wabash order due up, starting with second baseman Sean Rodzinski. First offering from Jordan Williams. Fastball in the turf for ball 1. Rodzinski lined out to the shortstop. Nice play by O'Keefe to start the game. He sends a high pop-up right side of the infield. Hayes backing up and will make the catch in foul territory for out number 1. I'll bring up the catcher, Bryce Aldridge. Walked his first time up, would be stranded at second base on 2 consecutive flyouts to the right fielder. And the first pitch from Williams bounces well in front of the plate for ball 1. Foul tip off the end of the bat. That one looks like it got a piece of Frankie where he didn't have any padding. He'll have to take a short walk. Try to take a breather and shake it off. Resto's gotten beaten up there this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like the foul tips always catch you in the spots where there's no padding. Although you're pretty covered up back there, the ball will find a way to make you hurt.
And at least once a game, Frankie's had to walk it off. Senior leader on the ball club. Might be the baseball god's way of giving him a proper send-off. He is okay, and we are back to baseball. 1-1 count on Bryce Aldridge. The offering took that off. It's into right field. Wood a few steps in and will make the catch for out number 2. So up now is the right fielder, Andrew Jumonville. Flew out to right field his first time up.
Well, if you're an Adrian fan, it's good to see Williams throwing strikes. His last start was in the MIAA title game. He only lasted 4 2/3 innings. He had 4 walks on that game. Also had 4 walks in the start prior to that.
Didn't give up a lot of runs as Adrian won that game 3-2, but his control was so much of an issue. Rainey didn't want to take a chance. And the 1-0 in the turf. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch to Jumonville. Hard hit ball, but well foul off towards that mound. Jumonville absolutely smoked that one. Williams got away with one.
Yeah, all over that hanging curveball. If they want to go back to it, they'll have to get it a little more down. See if he'll swing over one in the turf.
We'll see what he goes with here. The 2-1 pitch. Takes off again, gets away with another one. Jumonville gets under it, and it will be a pop-up to O'Keefe to end the inning. So the Little Giants go down 1-2-3, and we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Adrian looking to erase that 0-1 deficit. We'll be back here on ACTV. You heard it from the public address announcer, Dave Van Giesen. Shortstop Sean O'Keefe due up for the Bulldogs. First pitch from Brian Roberts. Catches the outer black, 0-1, and just like the first 2 innings, he comes out firing strikes. Fouls that one off of his foot. It's now signaled foul ball.
O'Keefe got a handful of starts this season, as Coach Rainey experimented with him and Torrento over at shortstop. Hitting .273 on the year, 8 runs driven in, 13 runs scored, also 4 doubles.
Down the count 0-2, that one outside for a ball. Looks like the rain has stopped falling here in Adrian, but still some umbrellas out. So O'Keefe sends a high fly ball into left center. Will be cut by Downing out there for out number 1. We head back to the top of the Adrian lineup. It's the center fielder Zach Schering. Popped out to the third baseman his first time up. Both teams with 2 hits apiece. First pitch. It's a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Another breaking ball. This one hangs high. 1 ball and 1 strike. And it looks like this game might go the same as the one earlier. Pitching battle, where runs will come at a premium price. He fires a heater in there, but it misses. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Zach Schering.
In the 3rd inning, but Roberts already right around 45 pitches. He's had a few strikeouts, kind of raised up his count, so it'll be interesting to see how Coach Martin wants to handle his bullpen. We've already seen his closer, Zach Moffitt, 3 times, including 2 innings in the game prior to this. He got the save against Ithaca. But I feel, Robbie, as long as Roberts comes out and continues to retire Adrian batters, they're going to ride him as long as they can.
I was just going to say the same thing. Probably a slim chance that he will get a chance to pitch the rest of the tournament if they make it through. So they will take him to the limits as he strikes out Schering for out number 2. 3rd strikeout of the day for Roberts. And then we'll bring up the left fielder Gunnar Rainey, who singled his first time up.
Really nice pitch by Roberts there. That just dropped right off the table.
Misses with the fastball right there, 1-0. I think I need to stop giving the weather update, because as soon as I say one thing, another thing happens. Rain again falling here at Nicolay Field.
I mean, I feel that's the case with you and every other amateur weatherman. I feel like it happens to the experts as well.
But while I'm at it, not much of a wind out there as the flags laying stagnant at the moment. As Rainey fouls a 1-1 pitch off the turf and into his helmet.
And we talk about how hard the job is for the men in blue. I'm, of course, talking about baseball umpires, but another profession that gets a lot of, I guess you could say, crap would be not the greatest term, but people don't like weathermen, it seems like, as much as they don't like umpires.
That was a nice play over at third baseman by Wannemuller. Made the first base umpire Justin Birchie's job easy as he rings him up for an out. The Bulldogs once again go 1-2-3 as we head into the top of the 4th. 1-0 Wabash lead. And we'll be right back with more NCAA regional baseball here on ACTV. Top of inning number 4, 1-0 Little Giants lead over the Adrian College Bulldogs. They're looking to get the bats going again. Sent down in short order in the last inning, and it's 4, 5, 6 due up, starting with the first baseman, Jackson Blevins. Blevins a fly out to right field his first time up to end inning number 1. Pitch from Williams. Fouls that one off the end of the bat. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. That one's sent into center field, and it's a leadoff single for Jackson Blevins. Wabash trying to extend that lead. They'll send up the designated hitter, Matthew Ane. Singled his first time up. Would later come around to score the lone run. Darnell playing in on the grass against the bump, but they'll be free swinging. Sends that one deep into right field. Wood backing up. He'll make the catch. Blevins tagged up, thought about going, but he'll hold. 1 down now, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Eric Chavez. Sacrifice bunt his first time up. That moved Ane to second. And Cody, with 1 out, do you think they'll do that again?
I mean, it's a 1-0 score here. Darnell's drawn in at third. Still an early game. So it all depends if they think that they can get the runner in from second with 2 outs.
There's a first pitch heater in there for ball 1. Cody, we caught your sneeze again, so bless you.
Thank you. Allergies this time of year, you know. Been using my eye drops all week as well. Helps me see this incredible action here at Nicolay Field. Only the second time that Adrian has hosted this regional tournament. The first time back in 2009.
That was the year following Adrian's lone appearance in the NCAA Division III World Series. Winning the regional in dramatic fashion on a walk-off, actually.
This is the Bulldogs' 12th regional appearance. And like Robbie said, reached the World Series back in 2008. Their best finish was in 2008. They finished 4th that year. Meanwhile, Wabash has only been in this tournament 1 other time.
Long throw from Resto, and he gets Blevins at second base. Frankie Resto, another man caught stealing. He threw out 3 yesterday against LaRoche, and he's showing off that golden arm.
Well, Resto only 5 for 38 coming into this tournament, throwing out runners, but now 4 in this regional. So, Robbie, to answer your other question, trying to get a runner to second, they probably, in hindsight, obviously, would have been better trying to get that bunt down.
And Chavez will send that one into the right field corner. Wood giving chase. It's going to find its way out of play. 2 down now in the inning in a 1-2 count. On the shortstop, Eric Chavez. Offering from Jordan Williams. That one hit and foul toward her on the left side. And Dugan Darnell will watch it go out of play.
There's the sun.
Starting to peek through the clouds. Rain starting to hold up. Trying to become a beautiful, lazy Sunday afternoon. Perfect for NCAA regional baseball.
I think that's a Queen song. Lazing on a Sunday afternoon. Very quick, about 1:12 seconds, but great listen if you have a chance.
Chavez tries to bloop that one into left field. Collision between Rainey and O'Keefe. Rainey will haul it in. And it looks like everybody involved will be okay. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 4. A 1-0 Little Giants lead. And don't you swipe away from this YouTube channel because we'll be right back here on ACTV. Bottom of the 4th inning here at Nicolay Field, 1-0 Wabash lead. That's the heart of the Adrian order due up, starting with the right fielder, Brady Wood. Had an infield single his first time up today. Ryan Roberts getting back to work. He's been throwing strikes early and often. And once again, paints the outer black, 0-1.
I think he's been doing a good job of today getting out in front of hitters. I think we've only seen 2 or 3 one-ball counts so far.
Wood puts a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Blevins again going into foul territory and will make the catch for out number 1. 7th straight batter retired by Roberts. Now bring up the first baseman, Hunter Hayes, who flew out to right field his first time up. First pitch. Takes a little off of that, and Hayes will swing through it for strike 1. Kind of an awkward bunt attempt right there. And it is quickly 0-2 on Hayes.
Yeah, not quite sure what he was trying to accomplish there. I mean, he was going for the base hit, but not the way to go about it.
Watches a curveball just miss on the outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
And it wasn't a bad thought by Hayes. Wannemuller playing back at third, but just couldn't execute it.
Manages to get a piece of that one. Still 1-2. Well, ACTV, student run by students for students. Everything you're seeing from the graphics on the scoreboard to the play-by-play, all done by Adrian College. And we're always looking for constructive criticism, looking to get better. So if you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, tell us. We're always looking at the comments, and we're trying to, like I said, get better. And we thank you guys for tuning into this broadcast as you have throughout the entire tournament. We love what we do and we want to get better, so thank you guys again. And with 2 outs, it's the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, up to bat. He struck out looking his first time up.
4 strikeouts on the day now for Adrian, 2 looking. And that's something they struggled with last night against Worcester, as well as at one point they struck out looking 4 times in a row. So they're going to have to start putting up more of a fight with 2 strikes.
Darnell sends a chopper right into the glove of Blevins. He'll step on the bag to retire the side. For the third inning in a row, the Bulldogs go 1-2-3. We head to the top of the fifth, still a 1-0 Wabash lead. And we'll be back here on ACTV. Center fielder Tyler Downing due up here in the top of inning number 5. A 1-0 Little Giants lead. And the first pitch from Jordan Williams. Curveball in there for strike one.
Downing standing right in the front of that batter's box.
See if it pays off for him. So that fastball misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one bounces about 3 feet in front of home plate. 2 balls and 1 strikes. Williams, 1 earned run given up so far. Also has 1 strikeout and 1 walk. This next pitch will be his 50th. As Downing up in the count, 2-1 the pitch. Sends a line drive down the left field line, but just foul. Wanamaker due up next for the Little Giants. Had the RBI single that gave Wabash the early 1-0 lead. It's a 2-2 pitch from Williams in the turf. Downing works a full count. Payoff pitch. Sends a ground ball on the left side. Diving attempt by O'Keefe, but it's going to roll into left field for a base hit. Downing a big turn at first, but will hold, and it is a leadoff single for Wabash.
Second inning in a row that the Little Giants have put their leadoff man aboard. As Blevins started things off with a single back in the 4th inning, he was later caught stealing.
Williams again working from the stretch. First pitch in the turf as Wanamaker pulls back his bunt attempt.
Modest lead off of first base for Downing.
1-0, showing bunt again. This one sails outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Wind starting to pick up here, blowing in from right field. 3-2-0 pitch. This time he'll get the bunt down the first base side. And Williams and Frankie can't decide who's going to take it. Miscommunication there puts runners on first and second with nobody out.
It looked like for a second Williams was going to see if that one might roll foul. It was kind of spinning that way. But Frankie decided against it. I think he wanted to try to get the out at first base. Tough break again for the Bulldogs.
And now something cooking for Wabash. They have 2 men on with nobody out. Corners pulled in for Adrian. That's the left fielder Jared Wolf up to bat. He grounded out to second base his first time up. And he shows bunt as well. It's a strike. Snap throw down to second. And Downing going to be caught in between. And they'll gun him out at third. Bulldogs catch a break there. As Wanamuller holds at first base, and there's now 1 out.
Yeah, Downing thought that Wolf was going to get it down, anticipated it. He got about halfway to third base, and on his way back into second, took a little bit of a slip there.
So a double play will now get the Bulldogs out of the inning. 0-1 count on Jared Wolf. And the pitch from Williams just a bit out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
For those of you scoring at home, that was a 2-6-5 putout of Downing.
Check swing, a bit of a defensive one too. It is now a 1-2 count on Jared Wolf.
That swing suggests that Wolf might have thought that was going to break back into the plate. Said that was a fastball that was just riding in on his hands.
The 1-2. Manages to get a piece of that one, and he'll stay alive. Wanamuller, 5-step lead over at first base. Williams gets the sign from Resto. The 1-2. And he'll take a close one on the outside. 2-2, and Wolf featuring a golden eye today. The 2-2. And a big cut there. As Jordan Williams tosses him the chair for out number 2.
Wolf just laid off a pitch almost in the same spot, but couldn't quite hold off on that pitch up in the zone.
Second strikeout of the day for Jordan Williams, and that will bring us back to the top of the Wabash lineup. Second baseman Sean Roginski up at the plate. The first pitch in the turf. Nice block by Resto. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Resto doing a terrific job behind the plate. Really has taken a leadership role this past weekend. And really helping out his staff.
Well, Williams only a freshman, so he's got a couple years to go. Started off his aging career on a high note, trying to continue that. And I know you trained with Frankie when you were on the team as a freshman, and I remember you coming back from practice saying just how intelligent of a baseball player he is.
Yeah, he just has a completely different way of looking at catching. And it's actually really refreshing, kind of a different way from the traditional way. He has different drills that I didn't even hear of until he told me about them. There's no doubt about it. He works hard at his craft, and there's a reason that he's been a starter behind the dish since his freshman year.
One of his goals is to be a coach coming out of Adrian College, and there is no doubt in my mind that he will not only be given a chance to coach, but he'll be a great one at that. 3-1 count on Sean Rodzinski. The pitch. Ground ball over to O'Keefe at short. He'll flip on to second for out number 3. Base running miscue by the Little Giants, and the threat will be ended. As we head to the bottom of inning number 5, still a 1-0 Wabash lead. Adrian will look to get their bats going, and we'll be right back here on ACTV. Six, 7, 8 due up for Adrian College. They trail by 1 in the bottom of the 5th. It's designated hitter Brian Guck up to bat. Struck out his first time today. And the first pitch from Roberts just misses the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. Hard ground ball over to the shortstop. Chavez routine. It's a quick out number 1. As Brian Roberts continues to mow down these Bulldog hitters.
The 12th in a row that he's retired.
Well, he gave up 2 back-to-back hits to the second and third hitter in the first inning. Since then, just been absolutely dominant.
And that second hit that he gave up was just a little swinging bunt by Wood. So besides that hard hit single by Rainey, he's just been in cruise control.
He's up 0-1 on the second baseman, Jordan Torreno, who grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. This one in the turf for ball 1.
Gotta tell you, Robbie, it's been an absolute joy watching Wabash this weekend. We knew that they had a huge tournament win as they knocked off both Worcester and number 24 ranked Denison. And they were given the 8 seed. We didn't really know what to expect, but we now know why they beat Worcester in back-to-back games. Have been the only team so far in this regional tournament to really make it a competitive game with the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, they play loose out there, but they also grind out every at-bat, every single pitch. And really the definition of what a good college ball club looks like. Torreno fouls that one off towards the Worcester bench. And Wabash bench. You had to put Worcester on my mind, but about 4 of them came out to get that ball. We're probably going to get some flack now because a big rivalry between Wabash and Worcester. So again, I apologize for the slip-up as Torreno goes fishing, but no bass in the pond, and he is out on strikes. Number 5 on the day for Brian Roberts. Now bring up the catcher, Frankie Resto, who lined out to the shortstop his first time up. The first pitch hangs high for ball 1. Snaps a curveball in there for a strike. Resto, 1 career home run. Cody, you usually call his shot in the games. Was not there for his home run. Are you going to call a shot right here?
I mean, really what I want to see an Adrian hitter do is just get on base. It's 13 straight now retired by Roberts.
Frankie wasn't happy about taking that last one. He evens the count up now 2-2.
And I guess for old time's sakes, Roberts hangs a curveball. He might put one in the air.
Hangs a curveball, but it's inside and high. 3-2 now on Resto.
Supposed to be unbiased in these broadcasts. But Frankie, a good friend of ours.
Sends a hard hit ball to the second baseman. 1 hopper. Roginski will fire on to first. Another 1-2-3 inning. Roberts stellar out there through 5. We head to the top of the 6th, a 1-0 Wabash lead. And we'll be back with more NCAA regional baseball on ACTV. Top of the 6th inning here at Nicolay Field in the final elimination game before the championship round. Wabash holding on to a 1-0 lead over Adrian College. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander joined by my colleague Cody Alexander. And Jordan Williams and Brian Roberts pitching a gem. As minimum base runners have been allowed. 1-1 is the count on the catcher, Bryce Aldridge. 0 for 1 so far with a walk and a flyout. He takes a little off there. Aldridge manages to get a piece of it, but it's foul. 1-2.
This game really flying by, too. It's both pitchers working at a pretty quick pace.
Yeah, 6th inning. Just a little over an hour into this game. And I know you're a fan of pitching duels. I mean, I'm a fan of pitching duels too, but I know you really enjoy watching them, especially when we were little. A lot of kids get bored on TV when they watch the 1-0, 2-1 ball games, but that was your bread and butter, so you must really be enjoying this one.
Well, I'm getting excited here for the last few innings as we head into the 6th. The score remains how it is. That's when we'll really start to see strategy on both sides of the field. Still only a 1-run ball game. Roberts cruising. He's retired 14 straight, so the Bulldogs may have to start getting creative and seeing how they can put men aboard.
Well, Wabash earlier in the day, they held a 2-1 lead up until the 6th. Well, they scored a run, made it 3-1, but that's where it finished. So both games by the Little Giants today have been very close and great pitching on both sides of the ball. As that one fouled back into the parking lot. It's a full count on Bryce Aldridge.
Well, the Little Giants scored in this game in the second. It was a single by the designated hitter, Ane. Chavez bunted him over to second, and then an RBI single by Wanamueller.
And it's a leadoff walk for Bryce Aldridge. And that will bring up the right fielder, Andrew Jumonville, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a pop-out so far.
5 hits on the day for Wabash. 2 walks now. They had a chance to score in the last inning, and although they've only scored 1 run, they have definitely been putting pressure on the Adrian defense.
The ball rolls onto the field, a misfire from the Adrian bullpen, which means that they have some action brewing out there.
Trying to get our attention up here in the press box to let us know what's happening down there.
Like you said, Williams has allowed quite a few base runners, but him and the Bulldog defense doing a good job not allowing them to score. Wabash looking to turn the tide. So it's a first pitch strike to Jumonville. That's a ground ball foul. Third base coach will duck out of the way of that one.
I think something even more remarkable about this current Wabash run is that heading into the NCAA tournament, they actually had a 6-game losing streak. And since then, they've only dropped the 1 game. That was the first game, as we said, to Worcester. But beating several ranked teams in this current 6 out of 7 run that they're on.
Well, we talked to a couple of the Little Giants fans before their game against Ithaca, and they weren't very happy with the 8 seed. They thought they deserved to be further up in the bracket. Very confident in their ball club, as they should be. So they have played great baseball so far. And like we said, Worcester has played 3 games so far, 2 blowouts, but their first game against Wabash was a score of 4-2. So if the Little Giants find themselves in the championship bracket, it is going to be a very close game because they have already proven not only can they beat them, but even when they lose, they're not going to go down without a fight.
And the teams that they've beat, LaRoche, Ithaca, right now beating Adrian, all ranked ball clubs besides Ithaca, but Ithaca is a historically good program.
Fielder's choice mows down the runner Aldridge at second base. A little too slow of a ground ball to turn it. And there's still a man on first with 1 out. I'll bring up the first baseman, Jackson Blevins. 1 for 2 so far. Singled his last time up, but would be thrown out at second base. Williams pickoff move to first. Jumonville back easily. First pitch. Foul ball off towards US 223 for strike 1. Another pickoff move to first. Once again, back in time. Wabash scored their lone run in the second inning. Have been blank since then. And Blevins drops to a knee on that swing but can't connect, and it's 0-2 now. Jumonville, a healthy lead over at first base. The 0-2. High chopper over on the right side. Torrento will range over and get it for out number 2. Jumonville moves up into scoring position on the play.
And Robbie Torrento looks a lot more comfortable at second base than he does at short, as he possesses the range. But it seems that his arm is a little better suited for the shorter throw. As that was another nice play today by Torrento. He ranged to his glove hand that time.
It's a designated hitter, Matthew Ane, now up to the plate. He'll take a first pitch strike. Not only is he playing it over there, but he also looks very comfortable over there as well. I know sometimes you think middle infield is the same position, but going from shortstop to second base can kind of throw you off, and that does not seem to be the case for Jordan. The 0-1 sends a ground ball foul on the first base side.
Well, Nicolay Field, named in honor of Bud Nicolay. He is the retired president of the Carnut Products Company.
And swings through that fastball. Another chair toss by Jordan Williams. Number 3 on the day, and once again Wabash leaves a man on base, but they still hold that 1-0 lead intact. As we head to the bottom of inning number 6, Adrian will see if they can get their bats going, and we'll be right back here on ACTV. Brian Roberts toes the rubber, looking to continue this dominant streak. As he continues to just set the Bulldog batters down one by one, 14 in a row. And it's 9-1-2 due up for Adrian. First pitch inside to Sean O'Keefe. This one opposite, as it misses just outside. 2 balls and no strikes. O'Keefe 0 for 1 so far. Flew out to center field his first time up, and he'll take a strike belt high, 2-1. Pitch from Roberts. Just misses that outer black. 3 balls and 1 strike now. That one below the knees. O'Keefe draws the leadoff walk. And that is the first Bulldog base runner we've seen since the first inning. Back to the top of the Adrian lineup at center fielder Zach Schering. 0 for 2 in the game so far. Popped out to third base his first time up. Sat down on strikes last time. Wabash brings Wannemuller in to guard against the bunt. First pitch, outside. So Keefe got a little bit too far of a lead on first, but nobody covering, and he'll be back safely. Adrian dugout starting to make some noise. Aldridge make sure everybody on the infield knows where they're going. One 1-0 on Zach Schering. The offering shows bunt down the third base side. Wannemuller's going to charge. We'll have to get it there. And a close play, but nabs him for out number 1. Schering does his job. And the tying run now in scoring position.
One of the better bunts that we've seen this weekend. Schering scoring later than you usually see for a sacrifice. But he does a nice job of staying on top of that ball and putting it right down on the third base side of the diamond.
That will bring up the number 2 hitter, Gunnar Rainey. 1 for 2 so far. Singled his first time up, grounded out last time. Had a 4 for 5 performance last night. And is really starting to come into his own as he's only a sophomore here at Adrian. First pitch from Roberts. Sends that one into the netting. A foul ball for strike 1.
Rainey really the only Bulldog hitter that has had success in the last 2 days. Roberts will have to be careful with him here.
That one just below the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Wood on deck. He's been having some struggles as of late, but part of the order due up. Only 1 out still.
The 1-1 hits that outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
That is exactly why there's a 0 on the board for Adrian. Even in this situation, Roberts is not throwing anything down the middle, still working both sides of the plate extremely well.
High chopper on the left side of the infield. Wannemuller will get it and throw on to first for out number 2. O'Keefe moves up to third, and the potential tying run now 90 feet away.
Nice play by Wannemuller. Rainey has speed and a high hop that he picks right off the ground. As this Little Giants defense continues to make minimal mistakes.
The first pitch to Wood is going to be a strike on the outer half. As Roberts took a little off, and it's 0-1. Today's right fielder, an all MIAA player. And that one will sail into the left-hander's batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Although he's playing right field, he won that award over at second base, showing off his versatility on defense.
He sends that one into right field. Jumonville going towards foul territory, but will haul it in for out number 3. The Bulldogs get the man they want to third base, but can't drive him in, and Wabash will take their 1-0 lead into the top of the 7th. Don't you touch that clicker, because we'll be right back with more NCAA elimination baseball here on ACTV. Eric Chavez up to the plate now to start the 7th. Wabash continues to hold on to their 1-0 lead. The first pitch from Jordan Williams is out on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1.
The Dogs got a runner to third base for the second time today, but again, Roberts able to pitch out of the mini jam. I guess not really a mini jam in that situation, as still only a 1-0 game, but nonetheless, he is still cruising.
1-1 pitch to Chavez. Sends that one into the right center gap. That's going to fall for a base hit. Wood able to cut it off. And the leadoff man once again is aboard for Wabash. They'll bring up their center fielder, Tyler Downing. He's 1 for 2 with a single to his name so far.
It's the third inning in a row. The Little Giants have put their leadoff man aboard, and Williams has been able to pitch out of trouble, but he is now at 91 pitches.
Downing showing bunt early, pulls back, and he'll put that one into right field. Sliding catch by Woods. He'll throw on to first, and it's a double play as Chavez was off on the pitch. A big break there for Adrian College. They're now 2 down in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Wabash. It was a nice sliding catch by Wood. And Chavez, like you said, Robbie, off. He was basically on second by the time that Wood made that catch. He slid in there, so he had to get back up. But the throw beat him to first easily, and Frankie gets another piece of that foul ball, and he's having a rough day back there.
Well, we've seen 2 foul balls hit him today, but also what you didn't see was in warm-ups right around the 4th inning, also was hit by a pitch with no protection in that area.
Home plate umpire Lyle Travis going to give him some time, and hopefully the athletic trainers are getting the ice bath ready for Frankie.
Well, there's that mutual respect there between the umpire and the catcher. If one gets dinged up, the other will make a walk out to the mound to give them a second of rest, because they both get dinged up quite a bit back there. 0-1 pitch. That one's sent into left field off the bat of Wandemuller. O'Keefe in shallow left, and he will make the catch for out number 3. Wabash gets their leadoff man on, but a lucky break and a stellar play by the right fielder Brady Wood ends the threat. And it is now time for the 7th inning stretch, as we'll stretch up in the press box. We hope you do too at home. Make sure you stretch the hammies and all other muscles you use to sit on your couch. Maybe refresh your beverage, throw a couple hot dogs on the grill. We are reaching dinner time, and we'll be right back here on ACTV. Make sure you put on some Take Me Out to the Ball Game too. Root for the home team. Welcome back to the ball game, bottom of the 7th. We hope you're able to get some hot dogs on the grill. You might have to pick those up after the inning, as it takes a little while. Just keep an eye on them. And finish your rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. 1-0 Wabash lead here in the final elimination game of the tournament. Winner moves on to the championship bracket. And it's 1-1 on the heavy-hitting first baseman, Hunter Hayes. As he watches a pitch go in the left-hander's batter's box. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Only 2 hits on the day for the Bulldogs, and Little Giants pitchers only surrendered 1 to Ithaca in their first game today, so in total only 3 hits given up by Wabash pitchers on this Sunday afternoon.
Roberts at one point set down 14 straight Bulldogs. And he battles back in the count, full now on the Adrian High School graduate Hunter Hayes. Payoff pitch from Roberts. Taps that one up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Wanamila will try to take it, but can't get it in his glove. And Hayes is aboard. I imagine they'd rule it as an infield single, but we'll wait for the official call. And it is an infield single for Hunter Hayes.
3rd hit of the day for the Bulldogs. But second, that was basically a swinging bunt, but in a game like this, it is definitely better to be lucky than good. The Bulldogs, for the 2nd inning in a row, leadoff man aboard.
We'll see if they can get them in this time. It's third baseman Dugan Darnell up to the plate. 0 for 2, a strikeout looking. And he'll bunt that one back to the mound. Roberts goes to second, and it's thrown into the outfield. Hayes will hold. And the Bulldogs have something brewing in the base paths. Runners on first and second with nobody out.
Not a bad bunt by Darnell. And maybe not the right move by Roberts at this point in the game. Just want to get the automatic out. Instead, he tries to go for the lead runner at second and puts that throw in the turf. Luckily, Downing out in center field backing that play up, so Hayes had to stay at second.
A mound visit now for Wabash. First error of the day for either side. And Adrian now threatening to tie the game up or even more.
While we have a second, give a little bit of history about this facility. Nicolay Field, dedicated in 2008. Second time they are hosting the NCAA Mideast Regional. Their first time was back in 2009, as we've said. The field is completely covered in field turf by ProGrass. And as of this year, a 4-piece fiberglass mound also covered in turf. Pitchers not allowed to wear spikes on the mound, but in college contests, the position players are allowed to wear their spikes in the field. Now Adrian rents this facility out to high school teams, and they have to wear tennis shoes regardless of where they are on the field.
If you think it looks weird on the screen, we can assure you it looks even weirder in person, the pitching mound. But pitchers love it for the consistent landing spot.
With this wet weather that we've seen this weekend, didn't see it much during the regular season with Adrian, but we've seen a few guys slip out there. Luckily dry today, so we have not seen anything of that sort. It'll be interesting to see, maybe ask in the press conference after this how Roberts liked the mound, because he's been cruising for the most part today.
Pinch hitter Jason Croce up to the plate now in place of designated hitter Brian Guck. 1-1 is the count. First baseman Blevins even with the mound against that bunt. They'll try again. This one fouled back into the netting. And we got a flinch up in the box. Who was it? And it's the public address announcer, Dave Van Giesen. Put him down. I think this is his first flinch of the year.
It is.
Add him to the sheet. A flinch on a foul bunt attempt. I don't think we've seen that yet. 1-2 pitch to Croce. Ball high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, should we give him 2 because it was a bunt attempt, or should we give him a break?
I think we'll give him a break there, but unfortunate for the Bulldogs. that pitch perfect to bunt. Croce just couldn't get it down.
They'll foul this one towards the back 40 practice fields. Count stays the same. It's 2-2. Roberts trying to work out of a jam right here. First real danger he's faced all day. The pitch. Croce gets fooled badly as he fishes for that curveball but can't connect. And now a double play would end the Adrian College threat. It's the second baseman, Jordan Torrento, now up to bat. Ground out to the first baseman and a strikeout so far today. He's 0 for 2. First pitch from Roberts. Just above the letters. 1 ball and no strikes.
Roberts now over the century mark. 104 pitches.
And that one finds the outer black. It's 1-1. Like we've seen, pitch counts have not necessarily meant a whole lot to the coaches, as we've seen some pitchers go well into 140.
This is a do or die game, so you got to think, as long as Roberts is throwing, he threw 119 pitches against Worcester on Thursday. And their closers, Zach Moffitt, already throwing 2 innings today. That was 30 pitches. He had 2 outings prior. I feel like they're going to ride Roberts as long as they can.
Well, it's an interesting situation. Remember, whoever wins this game will face Worcester in the championship. So you have to make sure you win this game, but at the same time, you're kind of trying to make sure you have good pitching going into that championship bracket. So 1-2 pitch to Torrento hangs high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Roberts. And Torrento caught window shopping right there. Big strikeout for Wabash. And there is now 2 down, still runners on first and second. 7th strikeout of the day for Brian Roberts.
That's the 3rd looking, as well as the Bulldogs just having trouble pulling the trigger.
First pitch to the catcher, Frankie Resto, is up and in for ball 1. 0 for 2 so far. Lined out to the shortstop Chavez his first time up, and the last time grounded out to Rodzinski over at second. Big hole on the right side. And the breaking ball finds the zone, 1-1. Delivery, ball high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Hayes on second base, Dugan Darnell on first base. The pitch, big cut there by Frankie. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Both crowds getting into it. Both benches have been in it the whole game. Hayes bluffs for third and slips on the turf. He's going to be caught in a pickle now. But they're going to call a balk on Roberts. And runners are now on second and third. And Coach Martin coming out to have an argument. It looked like he stepped off, but second baseman umpire Luke Kamermeyer and third base umpire Wade Mail saw something different. Wabash still sitting good, 2-2 on Frankie with 2 out, but now a base hit could potentially give the Bulldogs the lead.
And I didn't see anything from up here. It looked fine. But apparently, like the umpire said, Roberts failed to step off the rubber.
The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hangs high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Roberts gets the sign from Aldridge. The 3-2. Fouled back towards the back 40. Resto putting up a battle now. Payoff pitch. Just inside. And the Bulldogs load the bases with 2 outs. 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster, and shortstop Sean O'Keefe looking to make a continental breakfast. Force at any base now for the Little Giants. Coach Klotz wants to have a quick word with Sean. Well, O'Keefe has one official at-bat today. He walked in his last at-bat, reached third, but was stranded. And for the freshman shortstop, this will be the biggest at-bat of his career. First pitch from Brian Roberts. Fastball belt high for strike 1.
Roberts has been going to his breaking pitch. Hung it a couple times to Resto, so if he puts it in the dirt, Aldridge will have to be a brick wall.
O'Keefe sends that one high into right field. Jumonville's going to camp under it. And the threat is ended. Bulldogs load the bases, but can't score a run. And we head to the top of the 8th inning. Still a 1-0 Wabash lead. And they'll look to add some insurance runs here when we come back. It's 9-1-2 due up. We'll see what they can do against Jordan Williams here on ACTV. Top of the 8th inning here in the elimination game. That will send the winner to the championship round and the loser packing. 9-1-2 due up as the Little Giants hold on to their 1-0 lead. First pitch from Williams gets Wolf swinging on a curveball. 0-1. The 0-1. Low and in the turf. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Jared Wolf 0 for 2 so far. A ground out and a strikeout. Looking to spark something that could add a couple extra runs and pad the lead. So he hits that one deep into right field. Wood chasing towards the fence. And he will haul it in for out number 1.
Wood caught that ball right up against the fence down the line and right. Not a lot of foul territory there. Can't quite see it from the press box, so not sure if that would have been a fair ball, but a nice running catch by the Adrian right fielder.
Wood, like we said, have been playing second base all year, but showing that he has no trouble going back into the outfield, which is what he was originally recruited for. Second baseman Sean Rodzinski up in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. 0 for 3 so far today. Sends a ground ball to the left side. O'Keefe ranges in the hole, but right under his glove. And Rodzinski is aboard with 1 out.
I'm going to guess they rule that one a single. Ball deep in the hole. And even if O'Keefe could have come up with that one cleanly, I don't think the throw would have beat Rodzinski, and it is in fact a single.
So it's the catcher Bryce Aldridge trying to keep this train a-moving. He's been on twice with a walk, also has flown out to right field. And the first pitch fastball high. It's 1-0.
Williams now at 100 pitches, which is not too bad for the Adrian right-hander. It seems like he's put a runner on first base seemingly every inning.
The 1-0 pitch in the turf, blocked by Resto. So Rodzinski will hold at first. Pitchers up throwing in the Bulldog bullpen. We'll see how big of a leash Coach Rainey gives Williams.
A little bit of a pun you made there. Leash and Bulldogs.
Unintentional, but I guess it works out. The 2-0. Blocked in the turf. Quickly 3-0 on Aldridge. The 3-0 pitch. That one just below the knees. Wabash runners on first and second with 1 out. And Coach Rainey coming out to the mound. And it looks like Jordan Williams' day might be done. So we'll see what he has to say. Motions to the bullpen. Jordan Williams, a gutsy performance today, but he will end leaving runners on first and second. And we'll see who inherits them. We'll keep it here right quick. As earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned that ACTV student run, student produced, and we're always looking for constructive criticism. Basically just want to hear what you guys say. Once again, we thank you all for tuning in during the tournament. So just some of the comments we've seen so far is the net in front of the camera. We do acknowledge that. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to get a camera out in center field at the moment, but we do realize it is a bit of a nuisance. So I've been trying to figure out the best way to kind of work around that. So there have been discussions as far as a pitching speed gun. Also something we would like to do. Not sure how far in the future or how closely in the future we can get that, but hopefully something that we can add to our repertoire. And to Mike H., if you're still listening, we apologize that you don't like our commentary, but we won't hold it against you, and we hope you're at least getting some enjoyment out of the broadcast. If you have anything specific that we're doing that you don't like, let us know. But once again, we apologize you don't like it. We're trying our best. And to everybody else out there, thank you so much for listening and for all of the comments. And it's always a blast here on ACTV. Mo Hanley on the mound. We can confirm that. We'll let him get a couple warm-up pitches in, and we'll be right back here on your home for the NCAA Mid-East Regionals. Wabash has runners on first and second with one out. It's a new pitcher for the Bulldogs, Mo Hanley, coming out of the bullpen. And Cody, what do you have for him?
Well, he has 11 appearances on the year so far, 18 2/3 innings of work. He has 31 strikeouts to 18 walks. That eclipses to a 14.95 strikeout per 9 rate. He owns a 3.86 ERA, definitely a fireballer out of the Adrian bullpen. Fastball right up there, around 92, 93 miles an hour.
His first man to face will be the right fielder, Andrew Jumonville. Reached on a fielder's choices last time up. In the first pitch, fastball below the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. Roginski on second base, Aldridge on first after the walk. The 1-0. That one finds the zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Wabash, 1 run on 7 hits. They also have an error. Bulldogs have 3 hits but have yet to bring a man across. The 1-1. That one fouled, scorched actually. That's off of the pavilion on the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hanley being methodical with the time on the mound. So he works at third base side of the rubber. The 1-2. High chopper up the middle. O'Keefe will grab it. Throw on to first for out number 2. The Little Giants now have 2 men in scoring position. So up now is the first baseman, Jackson Blevins. 1 for 3. Fly out, single, ground out.
Hanley that at bat, keeping the ball low, which is good with that kind of speed. If one of these Wabash hitters squares it up, it'll definitely take off. And it looks like that one might have caught another piece of Resto back there.
Almost got to the backstop and brought a run in, but Resto able to get the glove on it.
He's blocked quite a few this inning, helping keep the score at 1-0.
Wabash threatening here in the 8th inning. The 1-0 from Hanley. Big cut there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd starting to gather out on the center field hill as they want to see the ending of this ball game. What has been a tight contest all around. The 1-1 pitch. Low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Another arm warming up in the Bulldog bullpen.
Well, should Wabash keep this inning alive, be the designated hitter Matthew Anay up to bat. Blevins resets in the batter's box. 2-1 count, 2 outs. And the pitch from Hanley. Scorches that one, had the distance, but is going to be well foul off towards the Frank and Shirley Dick hitting facility.
Well, Blevins just proved that he can get around on that Hanley fastball. We'll see what they want to do here, 2-2.
Big pitch here for the Bulldogs, but time is called.
Hanley also features a slider, so Resto behind the plate if they opt to go with that. Have to continue to be a brick wall back there.
The 2-2. Hits that one into center field. Schering tracking and will make the catch to retire the side. Wabash gets 2 in scoring position, but they can't drive them in, and Adrian manages to keep it a 1-run deficit as we head to the bottom of inning number 8. Still 1-0 Little Giants. And we'll see if Adrian can finally tie this game up when we come back here on ACTV. Top of the order due up for Adrian. And Brian Roberts looking to continue to set these Bulldogs down. Still a 1-0 Wabash lead. The 0-1 tries to check his swing. They'll appeal to first. And Justin Birchie says that he in fact did. It's a 1-1 count. Schering 0 for 3 so far today. All inside, 2-1.
Roberts now past the pitch count that he had on Thursday. 121 pitches so far.
He's looking for 6 more outs as Schering fouls that one towards his own dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We've seen some higher pitch counts in this tournament. The first game for Adrian, their ace Tommy Parsons actually threw 143 pitches in his complete game effort.
Another foul ball by Schering, and he stays alive. Nice hands down there by the third base coach, Andrew Klotz. Former baseball player himself, and before the game playing catch with his son and showing he still has the quick hands. The 2-2 to Schering, ground ball to the shortstop. Chavez has it. It'll be close, but a nice pick on the opposite end by Blevins for out number 1.
Even though his pitch count's up there, Roberts' movement on his pitches still very good. That one just runs in on Schering. He just pounds it right into the ground.
Gunnar Rainey now up to bat, singled his first time up. Since then, 2 groundouts to the third baseman. He'll watch a first pitch strike at the knees. Clouds rolling back into the area, a few raindrops. But just as the rain coming, the crowd growing here at Nicolay Field. Ground ball by Rainey, past the diving Wandermuller. Chavez has it. And what a throw in the hole to get him for out number 2. Eric Chavez, have yourself a tournament.
Well, we talked about it in their game against Ithaca, how sure-handed he's been over there in the shortstop position, making all the routine plays. That one a little tougher. So he makes the backhanded stop and the long throw across the diamond.
So 2 down now, and it's an 0-1 count on the right fielder, Brady Wood. Infield single, pop out, and a fly out so far. He sends a ground ball again to Chavez. Not the person you want to hit it to, because it is now out number 3. 3 straight ground ball outs to Chavez. And these Wabash fans are loving it. They can smell the championship game as we head to the top of inning number 9. One last chance for these little Giants to get some insurance runs. And we'll see how this pans out. We'll be right back here on ACTV. Top of the 9th, 1-0 Wabash against Adrian College. As both these teams trying their absolute hardest to get into the championship round. Ground ball to Darnell and a strong throw on to first to get him. So Matthew Ane is down on 1 pitch. Now bring up the shortstop, Eric Chavez. Sparkling defensive inning in the 8th. 3 ground balls to him, including 1 deep in the hole. He was able to make all 3 outs. First pitch. Strike at the knees, 0-1.
Hanley 3 straight outs since he's entered this ball game.
He's trying to keep it a 0-1 deficit as the count now goes from 0-1 to 1-1.
Well, to remind all the viewers out there, if Wabash can hold on to this lead, this will be the final game of Sunday. They will face Worcester tomorrow, and if they win that game, it will go to a game 15.
Merry Christmas, Mo Hanley, as you get out number 2. Both a good defensive play and a bit of luck involved with that one.
Nice little stab there. Ball looked like it was going to sneak up the middle. Able to throw that glove out there in time.
It's the center fielder, Tyler Downing, now up with 2 outs. He shows bunt, will foul it off. Nice idea trying to catch the Bulldog defense off guard.
A little bit of a defensive bunt there at the end as that fastball from Hanley got in on him in a hurry.
Downing 1 for 3 today so far. Strikeout, single, and a fly out his last time up. And Hanley's fastball just misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
To continue what I was saying before that stop by Hanley, if Adrian manages a comeback here, then we will play a third game on this Sunday. They will face Worcester. And if Adrian wins that game, then we will play another game tomorrow.
As that one's dumped into right center field. Downing aboard with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Third baseman Henry Wannemuller now up to the plate. He's got 2 singles to his name so far. Popped out to shortstop last time, but also has an RBI, the lone RBI in the day, might I add. He's down the count 0-1. Pitch from the freshman. That one hit over the head of shortstop and into the left center field gap. Downing's headed to third. He'll hit the bag and stop there. Back-to-back singles for the Little Giants. And they now have something brewing with 2 outs.
Some nice hitting by Wabash. Hanley keeping the ball down in the zone for the most part. But it looks like they have timed him up here today.
Force at first and second base. It's the number 9 hitter, Jared Wolf, up to bat. 0 for 3 in this contest so far. First pitch, inside, nearly hits him. It's ball 1. Well, if he keeps this inning alive, we'd head back to the top of the Wabash lineup, starting with second baseman Sean Roginski. The 1-0. Catches the inside black. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. In the turf, blocked by Resto. So he'll have to take a quick breather. Kind of smirking at home plate. For those of you who don't know Frank Resto, quite the character, great guy. Always good to see a smile on his face.
I don't think there's been a single ball that has gone by him today.
Big cut there by Wolf. It's 2-2. You could cut the tension with a knife here. Bit of a cliche, but between every pitch, crowd falling absolutely silent. The 2-2. Low and outside. Full count now on Jared Wolf. Still more people flooding out to the center field hill, about 15 of them now. We started with 2. They must have heard that there's a great ball game, one of the best in the conference, or excuse me, the tournament so far, and for good reason. The 3-2 pitch. In the turf, ball 4. And Wabash loads the bases with 2 outs. After Hanley induces 2 ground balls, a single, and now a walk loads the bases.
Give credit to Wolf there. He took a couple of really close pitches.
These Wabash hitters have been extremely patient at the plate today. The Bulldogs found themselves on the other end of a 1-0 game yesterday morning. They beat La Roche by this same score, now trying to play the role that the Red Hawks couldn't, getting back into it. force at any base, 2 outs. Sean Rodzinski up to the plate. He singled last time. 1 for 4 in the contest. First pitch from Mo Hanley. In and out of the glove of Frankie. It's ball 1.
And the single that scored the lone Little Giants run was just a little bloop off the bat of Wanamuller that happened to find ground out in right field.
Downing on third, Wanamuller on second, Wolf on first base. The 1-0. Just below the knees again. 2 balls and no strikes. This Little Giants dugout starting to come alive, and Coach Rainey is going to call timeout and walk out to the mound. We'll see if he goes to the bullpen here. As Mo's body language will suggest, instead they'll walk back up on the mound, and it looks like it will be his inning to finish. And Cody, you've been in these situations before. What are they talking about out there?
I think he's just telling him to settle down. He's not missing by much. A lot of these pitches have been very close. His big thing here is just not to leave one over the heart of the plate. That would plate 2. This freshman will just have to bear down and try to send it to the bottom of the 9th with the same score that it is now.
If you're just joining us, a 1-0 Wabash lead here in the top of the 9th. Bases loaded with 2 outs. It's a 2-0 count on their second baseman, Sean Rodzinski. Pitch from Mo Hanley. Ball high, 3-0, and the Bulldogs in danger of walking in a run. Hanley will have to buckle down here. The 3-0 pitch. At the knees, 3 balls and 1 strike. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch. High and outside. Bulldogs walk in a run, and it is now a 2-0 Wabash lead. Bases still loaded with 2 outs. And another victory screech from the Little Giants dugout, because you're never too old to drop a SpongeBob reference.
Still in prime position to put more in. We will see how they want to attack the bottom of the 9th if this lead continues to grow, how they want to use Roberts, or if they want to turn to somebody in their bullpen. Another ball thrown by Hanley.
Well, he has 2 straight walks up to this point. Bryce Aldridge, 3 walks in the game, so he's not going to swing at anything out of the zone. And that one catches the inside black. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coach Rainey staying with Hanley for at least 1 more batter. One pitch. That one fouled into the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. If Aldridge keeps this inning alive, that'd bring up the right fielder, Andrew Jumonville. He's lurking on the on-deck paw. The 1-2 from Hanley. That one hit into center field, and that's going to fall and hit the gap, scoring at least 2. Schering picks it up and will throw it in. Rodzinski stops at third base. In Wabash, a huge blow, 4-0 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
The NCAA tournament MVP just sits back on that middle pitch and just doesn't do too much, drives it to the right center gap like you said, Robbie. And the first big hit that we've seen from either side.
Wabash struggling to score runs. They got a lot of men on through the game, and in the ninth, they finally managed to break through. They've scored 3 and are still threatening. 10th hit of the ball game for them, and Mo Hanley's day is done. As we'll let the new Adrian College pitcher warm up, we'll find out who he is, where he's from, and just what exactly he's about. And we'll be back here on ACTV. Well, you never know what you're going to see in these NCAA tournaments. And this is no exception as Wabash breaks through for 3 runs in the top of the ninth. They hold a 4-0 lead over Adrian, still threatening with 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs. And something I don't think we expected. Shortstop Aaron Arjrush, the senior, now pitching, trying to end this inning.
Well, he came in yesterday against Worcester, the first ever pitching outing of his career, and he threw a scoreless inning. Gave up 1 hit, but also had a strikeout. One of the few to shut down that Worcester lineup yesterday.
He fires a strike on the outer half of the plate. 0-1 now on Andrew Jumonville. 0 for 4 in the ball game. Fly out, pop out, reached on a fielder's choice, but grounded out to the shortstop O'Keefe his last time up. Working that first base side of the rubber. The pitch, breaking ball. That's to the shortstop O'Keefe. He'll flip on to third. And Darnell makes the tag to end the inning. Aaron O.J. Arjrush gets the job done. But not before Wabash scores 3 to break this thing open. It's a 4-0 lead. And if you're the Adrian Bulldogs, time to pay the piper on the brink of elimination. And we'll see how this thing turns out. Do you think they can make the comeback? We'll find out next on ACTV. Don't you touch that clicker. Coach Martin going back to his horse. Brian Roberts has shut this Bulldog lineup down. He's asking him to do it for 3 more outs. And he'll have to face the 4, 5, 6 part of the order. And Adrian down to their final 3 outs on the brink of elimination. Heavy hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes up. I'll watch off speed at the knees, a 1-1 count. Roberts, 8 innings pitched so far, 7 strikeouts. He's only issued 2 walks. He's encroaching on 130 pitches, but he looks like he wants to get the job done. The 1-2 pitch to Hayes. He swings in the dirt. A throw down to first, and Aldridge will finish it off. Wabash 2 outs away from refacing Worcester in a rematch of the conference championship game. That'll bring up third baseman Dugan Darnell, 0 for 3 in the game so far today. Strikeout looking, ground out in a fielder's choice. First pitch from Roberts, a strike at the knees, 0-1. That was Roberts' 8th strikeout of the ball game.
And it doesn't look like he's lost any movement or any speed. So he can sniff the shutout.
The 0-1 pitch in the right-hander's batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Strike at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dugan Darnell. Tension still in the air here at Nicolay Field. The 1-2, ball high. 2-2. Pitch to the junior. In the turf. Darnell works the count full. It's now 3-2 with 1 out.
Roberts, 3 complete games on the year, 1 shutout. He's looking for his 2nd to send Wabash into the championship round.
Darnell steps back into the batter's box. 3-2 count. Payoff pitch. Hits him in the thigh, and the Bulldogs, hope still alive. He's on base. Roberts contesting that he didn't make a move out of the way. But either way, it'd be ball 4. So Darnell keeping the Adrian College hopes alive. Pinch hitter up for the Bulldogs in place of Jason Croce. It's number 23, Chad Paddock. He was their designated hitter for a majority of the regular season. First at bat of the tournament, and he's looking to make a statement. First pitch from Roberts. Just a smidge inside, says the home plate umpire Lyle Travis, and it's ball 1.
Paddock hitting .292 on the year, 25 runs driven in, and 19 runs scored.
He puts off speed on the outer half. 1 ball and 1 strike on Paddock. The 1-1. Hits the inner black. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roberts gearing up for pitch number 140. The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes as that one got away. Lights on now here at Nicolay Field. We start getting into the evening just past 6 o'clock. The 2-2 fouled back. Chad Paddock stays alive. Bulldog dugouts not losing faith The 2-2 inside, and once again, a Bulldog batter works a full count. Double play ball would end it for Wabash. The 3-2 just below the knees, close call. And the Bulldogs now have 2 on with 2 outs. Coach Martin coming out to the mound, and this might be it for Brian Roberts. So we saw their closer in game number 1 today. It looks like they might go to him to game number 2. A man is coming in from the bullpen. But hats off to Brian Roberts. Twirled a gem today. 8.1 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, no earned runs, at least at the moment, and only 2 walks issued. And deservingly gets a big cheer from his home crowd. So we'll let the mystery man warm up, find who he is, where he's from, and what he's about. And we'll be right back here in Elimination Game on ACTV. Coach Martin turning to his closer to get his team to the championship brackets. Number 44, Zach Moffitt, sophomore out of Liberty, Indiana. That's who he is and where he's from. Cody, what is he about?
Well, he just picked up his 10th save in their first game today. That was against Ithaca. He went 2 innings in that contest. No hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and 35 pitches thrown. He looks to get the final 2 outs.
Another pinch hitter for the Bulldogs. It's number 28, Justin McMahon. Starting second baseman at the beginning of the season. He takes a first pitch strike.
Roberts ended with 145 pitches on the day.
The 0-1. Big cut there. McMahon quickly in a hole, 0-2. Dugan Darnell on second base. Chad Paddock on first after the walk. The 0-2. Ball high, 1-2. Moffitt gets the sign from Aldridge. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss there. He dusts him off. And the Bulldogs down to their final out. Catcher, senior catcher, I should say, Frankie Resto. The last chance hope for the Bulldogs. He's been a leader through not only this season, but especially this tournament. They'll look to keep it going. First pitch, a strike on the inner half of the plate, 0-1. Moffitt calm, cool, and collected on the pitcher's mound. The 0-1. Ground ball over to the third baseman, Wandemuller. This should do it as he flips on to second. And Wabash has their date with destiny. They get a rematch with Worcester. Little Giants managed to stifle the Bulldogs' offense. And Adrian's 2018 campaign comes to an end.
Just an excellent pitching performance by the Little Giants ace, Brian Roberts, as he is 2 outs away from going the distance. He ended up going 8 1/3 innings. Had 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and no runs on the board as Wabash shuts out the Bulldogs to extend their season.
Well, a big congratulations to the Little Giants. We said it at the beginning. They were going to be a tough team to beat, and we knew in Game 1 when they faced Worcester that that was a very good chance it would be the championship battle. Championship game will be tomorrow at 12 o'clock. If Worcester wins, that's all said and done. They win the crown and move on to the World Series. But if Wabash pulls it off, it will be a winner takes all at about 3:30. Once again, noon tomorrow is the championship game. Wabash takes this one by a score of 4-0. And before we sign off, a big congratulations to the Adrian Bulldogs. A great 2018 campaign. Tommy Parsons, Frankie Resto, Preston Perry, Brian Guck, and Hunter Hayes.
And Aaron Ajrouche.
Of course, Aaron Ajrouche. Big congratulations to the seniors, and thanks for the last 4 years. And although we're supposed to be unbiased, I just want to say a big thank you for letting us be in the booth with you guys the last 2 years, as it's been an absolute honor to call your guys' games and not only see you grow as a team, but hopefully on our end, let us at least try to grow as announcers. We know we're not perfect, but it's been an absolute joy to do this with you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your 2018 campaign. And once again, Wabash takes it by a score of 4-0. Championship game tomorrow. We'll see you right here on ACTV. This has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander signing off. And have a great Sunday afternoon. Remember to always keep it tuned to ACTV.